This is the captain. Briefly, today I will tell you about the film The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. How come they won't let you out? Why? What have you done? I am Jewish. Bruno lives in Berlin with his parents and sister Gretel. While he is happily having fun with the kids, an important reception is being prepared in his house. Bruno's father Rolf has been promoted, but because of this the whole family will have to move to another part of the country. When Bruno runs home, his sister already knows about the upcoming changes, and they tell the whole family the news. He doesn't want to leave his house. He likes it here. He has friends here, but there is nothing to do. His father is a soldier, and he has to follow orders, especially now, when the war is in full swing. In the evening, many important people in uniform gather in their house. They salute Rolf when he enters the living room. Rolf's parents are also there, but his mother is not as excited about her son's promotion as his father. Ralph asks his mother not to express his anti-Nazi thoughts, otherwise the whole family could be punished. Finally, all the things are packed. Bruno says goodbye to home, leaves with his friends. He is brought to a large, brick and slightly creepy house in the forest. The house stands behind a high fence where soldiers with dogs are on duty. Bruno does not like it here, but he promises to get used to it. The window in his room looks out onto the forest. In the distance, Bruno sees several buildings behind the fence. The boy thinks that this is a farm where people grow vegetables and breed cattle, but for some reason all the farmers wear striped pajamas, and Bruno cannot understand this. Bruno tries to find out more about these people from his mother, but she does not immediately understands what her son is talking about, and when she looks out the window in her son's room, she tells him that strange people live there, and it's better not to go to them. But Bruno saw children there and he wants to find new friends. Because of this ban, Bruno has to sit at home all day long. He is not allowed to go into the backyard. He can only play checkers by himself in the room. There is nothing to do on the playground in front of the house. When the whole family is having dinner, Ralph announces that the children no longer have to go to school. He has hired a tutor for them. Bruno doesn't mind, because he has never studied at home before. After dinner he lies under a tree and realizes that a good swing can be built on one of the branches. Bruno goes to ask his father's driver, Lieutenant Kettler, for a tire. Bruno's 12-year-old sister is pining for him. Kettler calls over a Jew named Pavel, who peels potatoes, tends the grounds, and does other dirty work. He tells him to give the boy a tire. The lieutenant's treatment of Pavel alarms Bruno. Pavel gives Bruno the tire and they make a swing out of it. When the boy swings on it, he sees smoke rising from the farm. He stands on the tire to see what is burning there, but falls and breaks his knee. Pavel comes to the rescue. He carries Bruno into the house, and then treats and bandages the abrasion. They start chatting and Pavel tells him that he used to be a doctor. He had his own practice. Bruno is perplexed why the doctor changed his job and got hired to peel potatoes from his father. And it's nice on the farm. Having learned that Pavel helped Bruno, his mother overcomes herself and thanks the old Jew for his help. Finally, the tutor arrives. He talks to Bruno and Gretel and finds out that Bruno only reads adventure books. He gives him a propaganda book on recent history. The children of a Nazi officer must receive an appropriate education, and the tutor is there for this. However, Bruno does not like such reading. He notices that the gate to the backyard is open and decides to escape. There is a window in the barn, through which the boy easily climbs. He runs through the forest, then through a stream and finds himself at a fence covered with barbed wire. Behind the fence sat a boy in striped pajamas with a number on his chest. The boys met. Bruno's new acquaintance is called Shmuel. Bruno asked Shmuel about the place where he lives, but Shmuel himself knows little about it. He only knows that there is no way out of here, that they are constantly forced to work and are hardly fed. From time to time he runs away to the barracks to rest from the hard work and angry soldiers. However, the whistle sounds and Shmuel has to run back. All the prisoners are being cleaned out in the barracks. At home Bruno stole a chocolate bar to feed Shmuel. When he came to the fence, his new friend was not there. Bruno started throwing everything he could get his hands on over it, and one piece of iron got caught on the wire. It turned out that the fence was electrified. Bruno decided that this was to prevent the animals that were bred there from escaping. That day Shmuel never showed up. Bruno did not like the propaganda that the tutor taught, but his sister took it all very personally. She threw out her dolls and decorated the walls with posters of the Fuhrer and Nazi slogans. When Bruno's mother left for the city, he took advantage of the moment and went to Shmuel. He asked the boy about the chimneys from which smoke periodically came out and it smelled bad. Shmuel said that they apparently burned dirty tripe there. Rolf's relationship with his mother has completely deteriorated because of his new appointment. However, Rolf's father supports his son and will gladly come to visit. Meanwhile, the tutor explains to Bruno that the Jews are the real evil and that it is they that the German people are currently fighting. Bruno: it is hard to believe this, but if an adult says so, then it is probably true. He again stole a treat from the kitchen to feed Shmuel. Bruno took a ball with him to play with it, but the boy refused. He is afraid that they will be noticed by the guards. Camp: Bruno's mother has just returned from another trip. Smelled the smell coming from the camp corpses. Lieutenant Kettler defended himself with a careless phrase, and Elsa realized that prisoners were being burned in the crematorium. When they burned, they stunk even worse. What? Beside herself with rage, she attacked her husband, but he explained to her that it was a secret project that no one should know about. From Elsa, he learned that the driver, Lieutenant Kettler, had hinted to her about the crematorium. Ralph's father came to visit. They arranged a dinner at their house, to which Lieutenant Kettler was also invited. During the conversation, it turned out that at the beginning of the war, his father fled the country, since he did not share the views of the ruling elite. Kettler realized that his career would go downhill after this news. He got angry and took out his anger on Pavel, who accidentally knocked over his glass of wine. Stupid! Kettler dragged him into the next room and brutally beat him. Pavel was never seen in this house again. After such a sight, cried for a long time. His sister tried to calm him down. She told the boy that the Jews were evil, they should be destroyed, but the boy could not believe it, because all the Jews he knew did not look like villains. Important guests were to arrive at Ralph's house. A gala reception was being prepared. Shmuel was brought in to clean the glasses. He and Bruno got to talking, and then he treated his friend to cookies. Kettler entered the room, noticed how Shmuel was eating cookies and accused him of stealing, but the boy said that it was Bruno who treated him. Friends, when the enraged Kettler asked Bruno about this, he got scared and said that he did not know this boy. The lieutenant promised to severely punish the thief. Bruno grieved for a long time because of his betrayal, but then he spied a film that Ralph showed his important guests and he felt better. This film showed the camp where Shmuel lives. All the Jews in the film were happy. They had enough time to rest, go to the library or cafeteria. The children played happily and laughed a lot. At that moment, Bruno began to be proud of his father. After all, he ensures order and security in this camp. Lieutenant Kettler was sent to the front because he did not inform on his father. After that, life in the house for Gretel became boring and joyless. Bruno continued to run to the city of the camp, hoping to see Shmuel. He wanted to apologize to his friend, to explain that he was scared of Kettler that time, so he lied. One day, Shmuel was there. His face was still raw from the beatings. Bruno asked for forgiveness. They made peace. That same day, Ralph was told the sad news. There was a bombing and his mother was killed. Despite the fact that she was against the Nazi regime, flowers with a card from the Führer were brought to her coffin. This was the last straw for Elsa. She and Ralph had a long row and decided that the children would be better off with their aunt, far away from this place. Gretel is ready to leave with pleasure, but Bruno does not want to lose his friend. However, nothing can be done. They will have to go. Bruno runs to tell this news to Shmuel, who shares his news. His father has disappeared somewhere. Bruno promises to help his friend. He wants to dig a tunnel under the fence to get into the camp territory, and Shmuel promises to bring him a rope so that no one will notice Bruno. On the day of departure, Bruno makes a sandwich for his friend, takes a shovel and runs to the city. But the sandwich falls out of his pants on the way. The boys dig a tunnel. Bruno changes his clothes and crawls through to Shmuel. In the camp, he understands that everything is far from how they showed his father in the film. The boys cannot find Shmuel's dad. They go to the barracks to look there, but suddenly the guards take everyone who was in the barracks, take them to another building. Shmuel and Bruno are also in the crowd. Elsa, meanwhile, is already looking for her son. She and Gretel run into the barn through which he usually climbed out of the fence and see a sandwich. Elsa understands that the boy has escaped. She asks her husband for help. The soldiers break down the door leading beyond the fence and rush after the trail. At the camp fence, they find Bruno's clothes and a tunnel. The boys have already been taken into a dark room with the others, forced to undress, and told that now they must take a shower. They were driven in. His son, when he ran to the gas chamber, All its inhabitants were already dead. That's all for today. If you liked it, tell the captain to let me, the editor and screenwriter, out of the basement. Thank you.